We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many challenges as we can, before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we complete all the challenges in a chunk before time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play in. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back. In the last episode, we did a speed run of kind of just doing a bunch of progress with nothing too specific happening in any of the chunks. But I ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. I had discovered something which has changed everything. And just to give a little spoiler, it involves butterfly nets. But before we get into that, my good friend and strategy game YouTuber Lemon Cake has challenged me to a sub race. He reckons that he can get to 50,000 subscribers before I can get to 1,000. I'm hoping to prove him wrong, so if you do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing. The winner is going to get some free Wetherspoon's lunch. Now, the head of the snake is currently in the Myths Guild with the tail of the snake in the East Feldip Hunter area, which means that the snake is stuck, and we're going to have to deal with that once we get into the chunk picker. But first of all, we have an hour of the snake in this configuration, so let me explain what we're going to do. So after I stopped recording the last episode, or the last chunk of the last episode, I was looking through the chunk picker's requirements, and I noticed that we had a load of best in slots from implings, the ones that spawn around the game. And I was thinking, well, I haven't actually properly looked at any of their drop tables. I know they have some useful kind of best in slot gear, lucky implings being the biggest case, but I hadn't considered looking deeply through any of the other ones. And that's where I made a pretty big discovery. Young implings. They have on their drop table bowstring, which means that actually for quite a while, and I haven't discovered this until now, I've had the ability to make a bow and actually train ranged and have a way of dealing damage from range. Until now, I've only been able to do melee. I haven't been able to do magic. I haven't been able to do ranged. So this is genuinely huge for this account. Technically, I had the ability to buy a bow back in Varrock, but I was so broke at the time and didn't have any gear on me that melee was the only way that I could have kept going. I can't quite understate how big of a deal this is because it unlocks the ability to do so much more than what I currently can. I will actually be able to kill things from safe spots without having to use a bunch of precious food, which I don't really have a lot of. So for the next hour, I'm going to be hunting the low-level implings that spawn around this area. I am going to hop and I'm just going to scout as many young implings as I can. It's a 1 in 10 drop, so I'm really hoping I can get at least one. Ideally, I want to get a few, so then I can upgrade my bows with the unstrung bows which I have inside my bank, left over from some of my fletching grind. So, let's give this a shot. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's run around and try and find some implings. I'm just going to start hopping from world to world to see where there are some. My current strategy is just run a length up the beach, hop and then run a length back. Well, I've been doing this for coming up on 8 minutes, and it's not been good. I haven't seen a single impling, let alone a young impling. See, this would be significantly better if I was somewhere where I had access to Puro, but I don't want to have to wait until I hit a chunk where I have I have access to it. I'd rather just try and get it as soon as possible. It really annoys me that I haven't tried this until now, or I didn't even look until now. Man, I feel like such an idiot running up and down this beach so much. But I've got to find one at some point, right? Surely. Oh, there's a gourmet impling, which is the first impling I've seen so far. That basically confirms my suspicions that they're running over the other side of the lake. So the spawn is like somewhere on this mound up here. I imagine it's just kind of a 50-50 shot of whether they go over that side, over this side. Still no young implings though. There we go, there's the first one. I was losing all hope just then. Come on, come on. Steel axe, damn. Still useful to get back up, but damn, okay. Well, they actually exist. We found one in 20 minutes. over 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so not looking hopeful for even getting on rate, but I'm still gonna have to keep looking. You may be wondering, BuschieBoi, why are you running around like a headless chicken, hopping worlds, looking for a young impling, when you could just like wait until you roll into a chunk which has some kind of archery equipment or has pure Puro or something? And my answer to that is, out of principle, I want to do this grind. I have discovered a way of getting a best in slot, which I really feel like would upgrade the account. So I'm not gonna just like discard it, you know? I really, really wish I'd figured this out earlier, but you know, it is what it is now, so I'm just gonna have to put up with this for a bit and, you know, pray that RNG gods are on my side and that we can find a few more young implings. It's crazy, I went into this thinking, oh yeah, 10 young implings, that'll be easy. There'll be loads of young implings around. Here I am, 40 minutes later, I've only found one. Oh, young impling. There's another one. And, meat pizza, okay. And that is going to be the end of a very depressing hour. Well, that was an unmitigated disaster. I was only able to get 2 young implings in that hour. One gave me a steel axe, one gave me a meat pizza. The snake is currently stuck as we can't get through this chunk here as we haven't completed Dragon Slayer 1, which means we are going to have to invoke the snake unsticking procedure. Let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we're going. As I mentioned a second ago, the snake is currently stuck, pointing left out of the Myths Guild. There's water to its front and to its left, and to its right is a chunk that we can't get into. That means that we have to invoke the unsticking procedure. If you want an in-depth explanation of what this is, I recommend going back to episode 5, where we did a whole episode, well, a whole explainer on the intricacies of it. But in short, it means that every chunk that is connected to any chunk of the snake at the moment that is not the tail, which is this chunk here, is rollable. Because Corsair Cove has access to a charter ship and a ship which takes us to Ribbington, that unlocks all of these chunks here as rollable. And the Feldep Hills chunk is rollable because of the middle chunk of the snake. So we have a very high chance of moving quite far away of where we currently are. Of these, the only unique one is Catherby. We haven't been here before, so I'd really like to roll this one. I really want to avoid going to Karamja, but of course, I don't get to pick. Let's see where we're rolling next. And it's North Brimhaven. Of all the places I could have gone, why are we going back to Karamja? Oh, that's infuriating. Okay, of the 2 places in Karamja that I could have gone, this is the worst of the 2, because I lose access to a bank in an hour's time. The end of the snake here we lose access to, and my current bank is in Corsair Cove. So, just to recap, the head of the snake is now in Brimhaven. The second chunk is the Myths chunk, this is the third chunk, and the tail is Corsair Cove. We've seen this story before. Let's jump in the game. This is interesting. Sorry, I'm not jumping in the game yet, but we actually have access to Puro via North Brimhaven. Of course, there's a wheat field just here. It's really, really good, because now I can unlock a bow. That's going to be great. Let's jump in the game. This wheat field lets us access Puro, which is huge. That will actually unlock archery for us for the first time. Of course, being on Karamja is super, super scary. There's a chance that we're going to get stuck down in the Karamja jungle again, but it won't be as bad as last time now that we have the 41 Hunter to complete this chunk here. But without further ado, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's jump in and get to some Puro. Let's grab 2 jars. Then I'm just going to catch a couple of babies just so that I can trade in to get a few more. I'm just going to do this until I have enough impling jars where I am not going to need to worry about buying some more. Might as well just open a young impling, and it was a meat pizza. Okay, well I'm just going to catch a few more of these. Come on, I'm going to keep only the things I really need. I want to keep the meat pizzas as they're going to be good HP. But other than that, I don't really think anything's useful. Nails I'll keep as well. At least for now. Now I should have enough jars that I don't really need to worry about breaking all of them. Great thing is with young implings, they spawn so quickly I can just stand here and do this. Catch 15, see if we can get any bowstring from it. And 15, let's see what we get. Any good? Any good? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh my god. Last one. No. Great. So 1 in 10. What on earth? Hey, there's a bowstring. That is exactly what I was looking for. This means that we can now actually train range for the first time. So I'm going to stay here until I have 4 of these. The reason I'm going to do that is because that means that I'll be able to make a normal short bow from the logs which I can just pick up from around the game. Then I have an oak shortbow sitting in my bank at the moment, an oak shortbow unstrung, which I've been keeping just in case for this situation here. Then that means when I get access to willows, I'll be able to make a willow shortbow, and then with yews, I'll be able to make a yew shortbow if I have 4 bowstrings, which a yew shortbow will be the highest I can get until I unlock a magic tree at some point, but that is really far down the future, so I'm not counting on it. There's number 2. That was a Lumbridge diary task? Interesting. I did not know that. So with these 4 bowstrings, I now have enough to make the 4 bows that I'm going to need. I'm going to quickly run back to the surface and going to go make myself a bow because I need my bank and I can't forget this before the end of the hour when we lose access to it. So if I chop down this dead tree here, turn this into a short bow, unstrung, use the bowstring on the short bow, and we have a short bow for the first time. Oh, I'm going to shoot a seagull just out of celebration and some ranged experience. Oh my god, this is incredible. Of course, this is going to be super slow experience at the beginning, but this is so much better than having to melee everything. Oh wow, what an unlock. Let's run back into Puro. As there's not really that much else that we can do out here, so I think I'm going to work on a couple of the upgrades, like getting the magical butterfly net. That took longer than I thought it was going to. Okay, now we can get ourselves the magical butterfly net. So having looked at the drop tables, I think essence implings are going to be what I'm going to try and focus on. Be quite difficult, as there's not that many of them, but I feel like getting some more runes is kind of the most useful thing out of the common drops that these things give. Like, I'm not going to be hunting a 1 in 100 or something. Yeah, I'm going to try hold on to stuff which is noted, I think. I don't want to have to constantly be running back and forth to the bank, so for the next 30 minutes, I think I'll just focus Earth and Essence implings, which give the most kind of stackable materials. I've only been doing this for about 15 minutes, standing next to the Essence impling, and it's really good. Like, just look at the amount of Essence that I've picked up, or different runes I've picked up. This is going to be great for later when we're going to need to use some magic. I'm still waiting for when we get a staff before I start training magic properly, but until then, this is quite good. That was a very productive hour, but Puro does drive me just a little bit nuts. So let's see where we're going, and I need to head back to the bank to get ready for potentially even another trip into the jungle. Losing access to a bank right now, it's probably about the worst thing that could happen. I have to bring so many contingency things with me, it's not even funny. Brought my headless arrows and bronze arrow tips. These are going to go straight into arrows, which I can put on my back. I have my trading sticks in case we go into the jungle, and I'm going to continue working on grinding out those. Oak longbows, also in case we go into the jungle, because I can sell them at the Karamja General Store, which gives you a really good rate for any item you sell there. Then just brought normal stuff for being locked anywhere outside of being a bank, and then I brought all the food that I have. This is very annoying. Let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we're going next. So just as a reminder, the snake's head is currently here, facing south, and then the second chunk is in the Myths Guild, then here, then Corsair Cove. It kind of goes through a portal here and comes out in Brimhaven. From here, we can either go south into Brimhaven, or we can go west into the gold mine up here. Now, we've been here before. If we go south, we'll be able to get the agility arena. If we go here, we'll be able to do some power mining for some gold. But of course, I don't get to pick. Let's roll. And it's Brimhaven Centra, yet again. Means that we have a 1/3 chance of getting stuck in the jungle. Again, why is this game like this? This chunk's actually kind of an interesting one. Mainly for the fact that normally it'd be quite good. Like, I'd be able to use the agility arena, I'd be able to, I don't know, kill some pirates. But now that I have all of this rubbish on me, and I need to prepare for just in case we go back into the jungle again, it's not that great. What I think I want to do for this hour is do two things. One, I want to get a 60 agility, mainly because it's a nice round number. There's no real reason. It unlocks some nice shortcuts elsewhere. But the other thing I want to work on is I want to start working on my ranged. I have about 4,000 arrows with me, so that should get us hopefully up a decent amount. Let's not put this off anymore. Let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get down to the agility arena. I'm going to jump over some spikes for a while, and then I'll come back when I've got 60 agility. So first things first, I am going to clear up some of my inventory. I made the oak shortbow. Why is that so hard to say? Using the string and the shortbow in my inventory. So now that when we get to the archery requirement, we can start using it. I'm going to make all the bronze arrows as well and put the rest of them on my back. That will clear up another 2 inventory slots. Oh, and the ticket's right here. This is exactly why I needed to do this. And with this, that is level 60 agility. It only took about 10 minutes, but this unlocks loads of things for us, including the Sears Village course. The more courses I have, the more chance there is at getting some marks of grace, and eventually being able to get some graceful. Let's swap to killing some birds. I have misremembered. There are no seagulls here. Let's kill some pirates instead. Okay, I take that back. Snakes it is. Oh man, having a low range level is not fun. To be honest, I don't know what I expected with a short bow and bronze arrows, but this is so slow. And there's 5 ranged. Oh my god, that took so long. Finally swap out to the oak short bow. I mean, it's not that much better, but every little makes a difference at the moment. And we can get rid of that to free up an inventory slot. I'll hold on to these Brimhaven vouchers until the next roll. If we don't go to the volcano, I'll drop these off. The one time I don't have my Snapdragon with me because I don't have enough inventory space, I guess a strength potion's gonna have to do. Oh, and we have a best in slot archery drop. I mean, it's better than my adamant full helm that gives me -3 range. So I guess chef hat era has now started. Let's get back to it. I'm currently 10 ranged, and there is 15 ranged. It's not the most effective way of killing things, but it does the job, and it's going to be so much better for killing things where I can safe spot them. I mean, just imagine how much easier Fight Arena would have been than the 25 minutes of flinching that I did. And with that, that's going to be the end of the hour. We were able to train up quite a bit of ranged, but nowhere near the level I wanted to be. This should be good enough, hopefully, to at least start safe spotting some Jogers, if needs must. But let's find out whether we're going to need our range levels. Let's jump in the chunk picker. So welcome back to the chunk picker. The snake's currently facing south in Brimhaven, and we still have 2 chunks yet to come through the portal that's up here with the docks. But this is quite an eventful chunk roll. As you guys remember, you've watched before, Karamja is really a not good idea. Number 3 here, going straight forward, gets us stuck into the Karamjan continent. It is much better than the last time we were stuck down there, now that we're much better combat and we can actually complete one of the chunks down there. But it's still a pain in the arse. So if we roll into number 2, the volcano, we are able to just straight up escape. We go straight through out of Musa Point. If we roll into number 1, the snake kind of goes back on itself and then moves back into the port to escape again. If we roll into number 3, we're stuck in the Karamjan subcontinent, which will be a pain in the ass. I really don't want to do that, but we won't have a choice. We haven't been able to tick anything off, so let's see where we're going. Oh, okay. Thank goodness We managed to escape the volcano yet again. I am very, very happy about this. So we still have one chunk sitting over here in the Myths Guild where there is the portal, which takes it up to the chunk up here. But now the snake is facing towards Musa Point. I am so happy that we haven't gone down into Karandra again. I know eventually we're going to have to do that place again, but I don't mind skipping out on it just for a little while longer. This chunk lets us access a bank, so let's jump in the game and get to probably some agility. The next 3 hours we spend doing just agility, as the snake doesn't really have any direction to go. We have to go to Musa Point and then we have to go to the Musa Point dock. So we'll just focus on agility and work towards the pirate's hook. Let's start a timer and get to some agility. And there's 61 agility with just picking up the tickets. Hopefully, oh yeah, no, we're not going to be able to get another level in this hour. We are coming up on half the way to the pirate's hook though. I did spend some on some snapdragons, so I believe it's at 30. So we're aiming for 830 laps of this arena until we can kind of tick off one of the 2 tasks for this account. The fashionscape of getting the pirate's hook will be worth all the grind. I actually forgot to cash in my tickets for the last hour, but it doesn't actually matter because the level of XP that you get for tagging a ticket dispenser only goes up every 10 levels. And as we've just crossed 60 and we're miles and miles away from 70, it won't really matter until, you know, maybe 67, 68 to actually hand them in. You know, with all of the ridiculous grinds that this set of chunks gives in, I actually think that the pirate's hook is the smallest. Like, it takes only maybe 15 hours, I think, to be able to get a pirate's hook, which compared to, you know, getting all of the volcano obsidian items and training up to 60s for that, and I mean, there's literally a task for almost every skill here. So it's nice to work towards kind of a medium-term goal that's really not that far away. I still stand by the fact having a high agility is going to be the biggest utility for this account. So I really like how when I'm in these chunks, I mean, apart from the fact that there is a risk of being stuck in the jungle, but can't do anything about that. So make hay while the sun shines. And there's 62 agility. This is without handing in the like over 100 agility tickets I already have. So if we hand in the rest of these agility tickets at the end of the hour, we should definitely get to 63. And with the end of that hour, we have 118 agility arena tickets. So let's hand in all of these. And that takes us up to 63 agility. This chunk is such an inconspicuous one. Like, at first glance, it appears that you just need, you know, just some fishing and a bit of questing to complete this one. And then you just have this peninsula out here where there's 99 smithing and the trapdoor down into the dungeon with the visage that comes along with it. But let's get back to doing some agility. I've been really enjoying it, and we're now well over halfway to the 800 tickets we need. So let's start the timer and run via the bank to go back to agility. So we have exactly 400 Brimhaven vouchers at the moment. So that means that we need to do 8 more hours of agility arena to be able to complete it. This book of knowledge is going straight into Slayer. Still slowly lamping our way up. And there's 14 Slayer. And let's cash in all of these agility tickets, which takes us to 64 agility. So we are now on a dead end of the chunk picker. Let's see where we're going next. And here we are. So the snake is currently facing out of Musa Point on the little dock here, which means that now all of the boats which are in this dock are rollable. Any chunk that is not connected to the continent I'm currently on is now rollable, which means the 3 charter ship locations of Cathaby, Port Khazard and Corsair Cove, and Port Sarim from the boat that takes you straight there. We haven't been able to get anything off, but we're working towards the Pirate's Hook and I guess 99 agility technically. Out of these 4, I would really like Port Sarim or Cathaby. We've just spent a lot of time over in this region at the moment, so I think it'd be nice to change up. Cathaby would be my favourite, just as we've never been there. But of course, I don't get to pick. Let's see where we're going. Why Corsair Cove? I can't escape, I swear. Maybe my snake is just a jungle snake. It just wants to spend all its time in Feldip Hills and Karamja. Well, we now lose access to Brimhaven, and I guess we'll go back to Corsair Cove. And here we are yet again in Corsair Cove. Man, it really just feels like I'm going in circles at the moment. But that's just the way it goes when you don't get to decide where your snake is going. Now that we're over here, I'm assuming that we're going to be able to do a bunch more hunter, and maybe even some ogresses if we go to the chunk to our west. But I'm going to save that for the next episode. This episode has been massive for progress. We've been able to unlock a bow for the very first time, and we've been able to get some very decent agility experience. I am intrigued to see where we're going to go next, and what kind of grinds we're going to work on. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.